The air was thick with the vibrant pulse of Douala, a city alive with the hum of commerce and the laughter of its people. Brightly painted market stalls lined the winding streets, their canopies fluttering like colorful bird wings in the humid breeze. The sharp scent of roasted plantains mingled with the salty tang of the nearby coast, creating a heady mix that clung to the skin. Nnamdi adjusted his sunglasses as he stepped off the narrow alley onto the main street, blending seamlessly into the crowd. Despite his towering frame and broad shoulders, he moved with the easy grace of someone accustomed to navigating busy cities. It had been years since he'd last walked these streets, and yet, the rhythm of Cameroon's bustling life felt as familiar as the steady beat of his own heart. As he approached a small boutique hotel tucked between two towering mango trees, he pulled his baseball cap lower, obscuring his sharp jawline and the telltale glint of recognition in his eyes. He had come back to Cameroon under the guise of a regular tourist, determined to find a bride without the meddling of his overbearing family. To them, he was still the golden child, the fashion mogul who had conquered the runways of Paris and New York. But here, he was just Nnamdi, a man in search of something real. Zahra, on the other side of the city, leaned over the hood of her aging hatchback, muttering curses under her breath. The engine had chosen the worst possible moment to stall, stranding her on the side of a bustling street with a bridal meeting just minutes away. She wiped a smear of oil from her hands onto her vibrant Ankara skirt, its bold green and yellow patterns as loud as her personality. Her sleek bob swayed slightly as she leaned in closer, trying to coax the stubborn machine back to life. "Come on, you stubborn piece of metal," she whispered, jiggling the key in the ignition. The engine sputtered, coughed, and fell silent. Zahra sighed, leaning back against the warm metal of the car, her chest rising and falling in frustration. She glanced at her wristwatch, the delicate leather strap digging into her dark skin as the seconds ticked away. Just then, a deep voice cut through the noise of honking horns and street vendors. "Need a hand?" She looked up, squinting against the sun's glare, and found herself staring into a pair of eyes hidden behind dark shades. Nnamdi, his cap still pulled low, stood beside her car, his tall frame casting a shadow that almost seemed to shield her from the sweltering heat. "Thanks, but I've got it," Zahra replied, her tone sharp as a freshly honed blade. She had no time for the flirtations of yet another overconfident stranger. "I can see that," Nnamdi said, the corners of his mouth twitching into a grin. He slid his hands into the pockets of his dark jeans, the fabric stretching slightly over his muscular thighs. "But maybe a second set of hands wouldn't hurt." Zahra hesitated, her pride clashing with the practical reality of her situation. She stepped aside, crossing her arms as he leaned over the open hood. His fingers moved with practiced precision, tightening loose cables and adjusting the battery connection with the ease of someone who had once fixed more than just cars. "Try it now," he said, stepping back and brushing his hands together as if shaking off the grime of a much larger problem. Zahra slid into the driver's seat, hesitated for a heartbeat, then twisted the key. The engine roared to life, a throaty purr that sent a surge of relief through her chest. She glanced up, her eyes catching his for the briefest moment through the windshield, and for a heartbeat, the bustling world around them seemed to pause. "Thank you," she said, her voice softer now, tinged with genuine gratitude. "Anytime," Nnamdi replied, tipping his cap slightly before disappearing back into the sea of pedestrians. As Zahra drove off, her mind still reeling from the unexpected encounter, Nnamdi watched her tail lights fade into the distance, a satisfied smile playing at the edges of his lips. "Maybe this homecoming won't be so boring after all," he murmured to himself. The next morning, Nnamdi found himself navigating the bustling streets of Douala once more, this time with a purpose. The scent of fresh coffee and frying akara drifted through the humid air, blending with the sharp, metallic aroma of car exhaust and the distant crash of ocean waves. He adjusted the collar of his loose, white linen shirt, its crisp fabric a stark contrast to the swirling chaos around him. He had one goal today: find out more about Zahra, the intriguing woman whose fiery spirit had sparked his curiosity. As he approached the Douala Convention Center, the massive glass and steel structure shimmered in the sunlight, reflecting the palm trees that swayed gently in the sea breeze. Inside, the annual wedding expo was in full swing. Rows of booths stretched as far as the eye could see, each one a burst of color and creativity, from the delicate beadwork of bridal veils to the towering, multi-tiered wedding cakes that defied gravity. Nnamdi weaved through the crowd, his tall frame giving him a clear view over the heads of the excited brides-to-be and their entourages. He spotted Zahra near the center of the hall, her sleek bob swaying as she directed a small team of assistants. She was a whirlwind of motion, her Ankara jumpsuit a vibrant mix of deep indigo and bright coral, its white sleeves fluttering like butterfly wings as she gestured animatedly. Move the floral arch closer to the entrance. We want the brides to feel like queens from the moment they walk in, she called out, her voice cutting through the din of conversation and music. Nnamdi leaned against a nearby column, his eyes never leaving her. He watched as she floated from one task to the next, her energy seemingly boundless, her commands sharp yet encouraging. She had a presence that demanded attention, a magnetic force that drew people into her orbit. As she turned to adjust a delicate string of fairy lights draped over a decorative arch, she caught sight of Nnamdi's tall figure in the crowd. Their eyes met for a fleeting second, and he swore he saw a flicker of recognition in her eyes before she quickly looked away, her cheeks tinged with a faint blush. "What are you doing here?" Zora's voice, sharp as ever, cut through his thoughts a few moments later. She had approached him, arms crossed over her chest, her head tilted slightly in suspicion. "Just browsing," Nnamdi replied, a sly smile playing on his lips. He slipped his hands into his pockets, the casual motion masking the rapid beat of his heart. "Browsing." Zora raised a perfectly arched eyebrow, her dark eyes narrowing. "You don't seem like the wedding expo type." "Maybe I'm full of surprises," he countered, tilting his head slightly, his dark eyes sparkling with unspoken mischief. Zora huffed, clearly not amused. "Well, unless you're here to plan your own wedding, I'd suggest you move along. We have enough chaos without you adding to it." Nnamdi chuckled, enjoying the fire in her tone. He was used to women fawning over him, their eyes lighting up at the mention of his name. But Zahra, with her sharp tongue and fierce independence, was a refreshing change. "Actually," he said, stepping a bit closer, lowering his voice as if sharing a secret, "I'm thinking of planning a very special wedding." She blinked, caught off guard for a moment, before her professional demeanor snapped back into place. "Oh, and who's the lucky bride?" She shot back, clearly unimpressed. Nnamdi paused, his gaze never leaving her face. "I'm still searching for her," he said, his tone surprisingly sincere, the playful edge momentarily gone. For a split second, Zora's confident mask slipped, her dark eyes flickering with something he couldn't quite place. But before he could read her expression, she straightened, her chin lifting defiantly. "Well, good luck with that," she replied, her tone cool as the ocean breeze drifting in through the convention center's open doors. She turned sharply on her heel, her white sleeves fluttering behind her like the wings of a bird taking flight. Nnamdi watched her disappear into the crowd, his heart racing in a way it hadn't in years. He leaned back against the column, his eyes still fixed on the spot where she had stood, her presence lingering like a warm, lingering echo. "Definitely not boring," he murmured to himself, a slow grin spreading across his face. The rain came down in thick, warm sheets, drumming against the corrugated iron roofs of Douala's narrow streets. The air was thick with the mingling scent of wet earth, fresh cut wood, and the faint, spicy aroma of grilled suya wafting from a nearby store. Nnamdi pulled the collar of his jacket closer to his neck as he ducked under the awning of a small street-side cafe, shaking the rain from his hair. Zahra, already seated at a corner table, sipped a steaming cup of lemongrass tea, her fingers wrapped tightly around the delicate ceramic, as if the warmth could shield her from the storm outside. Her sleek bob framed her face perfectly, the sharp lines a stark contrast to the softness in her dark eyes as they watched the raindrops race down the window beside her. She glanced up as Nnamdi approached, her eyes narrowing slightly as he took the seat opposite her without waiting for an invitation. "Do you always follow women into cafes during a downpour?" she asked, arching a perfectly shaped brow. Nnamdi grinned, his teeth flashing white against his dark skin. "Only the ones who intrigue me," she huffed, setting her cup down with a gentle clink. "Flattery won't get you anywhere with me." "Who said I was trying to get anywhere?" he countered, leaning back in his chair, his long legs stretching out beneath the small table. Zora's lips pressed into a thin line, her dark eyes studying him for a moment before she leaned back as well, crossing her arms over her chest. "Fine. If you're going to intrude on my peace, at least make yourself useful. Hold this," she said, shoving a stack of collar swatches and fabric samples across the table. Nnamdi glanced down, his fingers automatically spreading the vibrant pieces of fabric, his designer's mind already analyzing the textures and hues. It took a conscious effort to remind himself that he was supposed to be just a curious stranger, not the head of one of Africa's most successful fashion empires. "Planning another wedding," he asked, flipping through the samples, his tone casual. Something like that, Zahra replied, her tone clipped. She reached into her handbag, pulling out a thick, leather-bound planner, its pages filled with carefully written notes and sketches. You're quite the planner, he observed, his tone almost admiring. It's my job, she shot back, her pen tapping rhythmically against the table. Unlike some people who wander around expos with nothing better to do. Nnamdi chuckled, enjoying the sharpness of her words. She was a challenge, a puzzle with too many pieces, and he found himself wanting to fit them together. What can I say? I like to keep life interesting. Then you're in the wrong place, she said, her tone cutting through the warm air like a blade. Weddings are about order, structure, and precision. There's no room for unpredictability. Is that what you believe? He asked, his tone softening, his eyes never leaving her face. Zahra hesitated, her pen pausing in its rhythmic tapping. For a brief moment, the mask she always wore slipped, and he caught a glimpse of the vulnerability beneath, the fear of losing control, of being swept up in something bigger than herself. Yes, she replied, her voice a whisper, her eyes flicking to the rain-streaked window. That's exactly what I believe. For a long moment, neither of them spoke, the sounds of the cafe around them fading into the steady patter of rain against the glass. Then, with a suddenness that startled even herself, Zahra snapped her planner shut, her fingers gripping its leather cover like a lifeline. I have to go, she said abruptly, sliding her chair back with a sharp scrape against the tiled floor. Wait, Nnamdi said, his hand reaching out to catch her arm. She froze, her eyes wide as they met his, the contact sending a jolt through both of them. What? She whispered, her voice tight, her pulse visible in the slender line of her throat. Let me help you, he said, his voice low, the sincerity in his tone catching her off guard. I don't need your help, she replied, her tone defensive, her eyes hardening once more. Maybe not, he considered, releasing her arm slowly, his fingers lingering for a heartbeat longer than necessary. But maybe I need yours. For a moment, Zahra seemed to waver, her dark eyes searching his face for some sign of deceit. Then, with a sharp shake of her head, she turned and walked out into the rain, her vibrant Ankara skirt flaring behind her like a banner of defiance. Nnamdi watched her go, his heart pounding in his chest, his mind already racing with the possibilities of their next encounter. He leaned back in his chair, the rain-soaked air filling his lungs as he whispered to himself. Definitely not boring. The morning air in Douala was crisp and tinged with the scent of fresh rain, the streets glistening under the early sunlight as the city slowly came to life. Nnamdi leaned against the polished glass of his hotel room window, watching the city awaken below. His mind, however, was miles away, fixed on a certain fire-eyed wedding planner who had managed to slip past the defenses he had carefully built over the years. A soft chime pulled his attention back to the present. He glanced at his phone, his mother's name glowing on the screen. He sighed, his jaw tightening. He had avoided her calls for the past week, knowing full well that a confrontation was inevitable. With a resigned sigh, he swiped the screen and brought the phone to his ear. Nnamdi, my son. His mother's voice, rich and full of authority, filled his ear, carrying with it the weight of 1,000 expectations. Why? Have you been avoiding my calls? I've been busy, Mama, he replied, forcing a lightness into his tone that he didn't quite feel. Busy. In Cameroon. Doing what exactly? You have a business to run, a family legacy to uphold. You can't just disappear like this. I needed a break, he said, moving to sit on the edge of his bed, his fingers tightening around the phone. A chance to reconnect with home. Reconnect. She scoffed, her tone sharp enough to cut glass. You reconnect by sitting in boardrooms and signing contracts, not by wandering around markets like a common tourist. Nnamdi closed his eyes, pinching the bridge of his nose. He had known this conversation was coming, but it still grated on his nerves. Mama, please, he said, struggling to keep his tone even. I'll be back soon. I just need some time. Time for what? She demanded, her voice rising. To waste your life chasing after some common woman. The words hit him like a slap. He felt his jaw tighten, the muscles in his neck straining as he forced himself to remain calm. You don't know anything about her, he replied, his voice low and dangerous. I know enough, she snapped. I have eyes and ears everywhere, Nnamdi. Do you think I don't know about this wedding planner you've been chasing around Douala? Do you think I don't know about the little cafe meetings and the stolen glances at that expo? Nnamdi's heart raced, his mind reeling. He had been careful, or so he had thought. How had she found out? Mama, this is my life, he said, his voice trembling with barely suppressed anger. You don't get to dictate who I choose to spend it with. I am your mother, she shot back, her tone sharp as broken glass. And as long as I am alive, I will not stand by and watch you throw away your future on a woman who will never understand our world. The line went dead before he could respond, the silence in the room suddenly deafening. He tossed his phone onto the bed, his chest heaving as he struggled to regain his composure. A sharp knock at the door shattered the silence. Nnamdi crossed the room in 3 long strides, yanking the door open to find one of his assistants standing in the hallway, his expression carefully neutral. Sir, Miss Zahra is downstairs, the man said, his eyes carefully avoiding Nnamdi's stormy gaze. Tell her I'll be right down, Nnamdi replied, forcing his voice to remain steady. The assistant nodded, disappearing down the hallway. Nnamdi took a deep breath, running a hand through his short, tightly coiled hair. He grabbed his jacket from the back of a chair and slipped it on, his mind already racing with the words he would need to smooth things over with Zahra. Downstairs, the hotel lobby was a hive of activity, the clatter of suitcases and the hum of conversation blending into a chaotic symphony. Zahra stood near the entrance, her arms crossed over her chest, her sleek bob swaying slightly as she turned to face him. Her eyes were hard, her jaw set in a way that told him this was not going to be a pleasant conversation. Zahra, he began, moving toward her, his hands held out in a placating gesture. Don't, she snapped, her voice low but fierce. I just had a very interesting conversation with one of your mother's people. Nnamdi froze, his heart dropping into his stomach. I trusted you, Zahra continued, her voice trembling with barely contained fury. I let you into my world, my life, and you lied to me. Zahra, please, it's not what you think, he said, reaching for her arm, but she jerked away as if his touch burned her. Don't, she repeated, her dark eyes flashing with a fire that made his chest ache. I don't know who you really are, Nnamdi, but I can't be part of whatever game you're playing. She turned sharply on her heel, her vibrant Ankara skirt flaring around her as she stormed out of the lobby, leaving him standing there, his heart pounding painfully in his chest. He watched her disappear into the busy street, her figure swallowed by the bustling crowd. And for the first time in years, Nnamdi felt truly alone. The air was thick with the scent of salt and sea mist, the waves crashing against the rocky shore with a steady, thunderous rhythm. The moon hung low in the night sky, its silver glow casting long, shifting shadows across the sandy beach where flickering torches formed a makeshift isle. A gentle breeze rustled the palm fronds, whispering secrets as it swept over the gathered crowd of close friends and family, their faces illuminated by the warm, golden light of the crackling bonfire. Nnamdi adjusted the cuffs of his tailored white linen shirt, the fabric crisp against his skin. He took a deep breath, his heart pounding in his chest as he glanced down the aisle, his eyes locking onto the figure standing at the other end. Zahra, resplendent in a flowing, pearl-white Ankara gown with delicate silver embroidery that sparkled in the moonlight, her sleek bob framing her face like a halo. The sight of her stole the breath from his lungs, his heart swelling with a mix of love, relief, and nervous anticipation. He had spent the past week planning this moment, pouring his heart into every detail, determined to prove to Zahra that his love for her was real, that their connection went beyond family expectations and hidden identities. As the soft strains of a talking drum echoed through the night, Zahra began her slow, graceful walk down the sandy aisle. Her bare feet left delicate, fleeting impressions in the wet sand, the thin silver anklet around her ankle catching the firelight with each step. Her dark eyes were locked on his, their depths reflecting the flickering flames and the churning waves beyond. Nnamdi's pulse quickened as she drew closer, her scent, an intoxicating blend of jasmine and coconut oil, filling his senses. He felt his throat tighten, his hands clenching at his sides as she finally reached him, her soft, full lips curving into a gentle, nervous smile. The officiant, an elder from Zahra's village, stepped forward, his deep, resonant voice carrying over the sound of the waves. We gather here tonight, he began, his voice firm yet comforting, to witness the union of two souls, bound not by tradition or expectation, but by the pure, unbreakable bond of love. Nnamdi reached out, taking Zahra's hands in his fingers trembling slightly as they entwined with hers. He felt the warmth of her touch, the steady, reassuring pulse beneath her soft skin, and in that moment, all his doubts, all his fears, melted away. Zahra, he whispered, his voice thick with emotion, from the moment I met you, you turned my world upside down. You challenged me, pushed me, made me see the world in a way I never had before. You are my strength, my passion, my reason. Zora's eyes shimmered with unshed tears, her lips parting in a soft, trembling breath as she gazed up at him, her heart laid bare. Nnamdi, she replied, her voice a breathless whisper, you came into my life like a storm, shaking the foundations of everything I thought I knew. You broke down my walls, showed me the beauty of vulnerability, of letting go. You are my anchor, my light, my love. The elder smiled, his eyes crinkling at the corners as he placed his hands over theirs, his deep, resonant voice cutting through the night air. By the power vested in me, and in the presence of the sea, the sky, and the spirits of our ancestors, I pronounce you bound, in heart, in mind, and in spirit. May your love be as unending as the ocean, as steadfast as the mountains, and as bright as the stars above. As the crowd erupted into cheers, Nnamdi pulled Zahra into his arms, his lips finding hers in a deep, passionate kiss that sent a wave of warmth crashing through his entire being. He felt her melt into his embrace, her slender arms wrapping around his neck as the world around them dissolved into a blur of flickering firelight and pounding waves. They pulled apart slowly, their foreheads resting together as the cheers and laughter of their friends and family echoed around them. Nnamdi felt a tear slip down his cheek, the warmth of Zora's breath against his skin a reminder of just how far they had come, how much they had overcome to stand here, in this moment, as one. As the drums picked up their pace, and the guests spilled onto the beach to dance and celebrate, Nnamdi took Zora's hand, his fingers tightening around hers as they moved toward the bonfire, their shadows dancing together in the flickering light. I love you, he whispered into her ear, his voice thick with emotion. And I love you, she whispered back, her dark eyes shining with a mix of joy and relief as she leaned into his warmth, her heart finally at peace. As they swayed together under the moonlit sky, their hearts beating in perfect harmony, Nnamdi knew, without a shadow of a doubt, that he had finally found his forever. The morning sun rose slowly over the shimmering Atlantic, casting long, golden rays across the sleepy coastline of Douala. The air was fresh, tinged with the salty tang of the ocean and the sweet, earthy scent of wet sand. Small fishing boats dotted the horizon, their colorful sails flapping gently in the morning breeze as seagulls cawed overhead. Nnamdi stretched his long limbs as he stepped onto the balcony of their honeymoon suite, the cool tiles beneath his bare feet sending a pleasant shiver up his spine. The view from their seaside villa was breathtaking, the kind of picturesque scene that felt more like a dream than reality. But as he leaned against the polished wooden railing, the sound of gentle waves crashing against the shore below, he knew this was real. They were married. He was, at long last, Zora's husband. He turned at the soft rustle of fabric behind him, his breath catching as Zahra stepped out onto the balcony, her white silk robe fluttering around her legs like mist in the morning air. Her skin glowed in the early light, her sleek bob framing her face perfectly, her dark eyes still slightly heavy with sleep. You're up early, she said, her voice a soft, husky murmur as she moved to stand beside him, her shoulder brushing his. Couldn't sleep, he admitted, slipping an arm around her waist, pulling her close. She leaned into his warmth, her head resting on his broad shoulder as they watched the sun climb higher into the sky. I still can't believe it, she whispered, her eyes fixed on the horizon. That we're here, together. Believe it, he replied, his lips brushing against her temple, his voice low and steady. This is real, we're real. For a long moment, they stood in comfortable silence, their hearts beating in perfect harmony as the ocean whispered its eternal song below. I never thought I'd feel this. Content, Zahra said finally, her voice tinged with wonder, like I found my place. You are my place, Nnamdi replied, his voice thick with emotion. My home. Zahra turned in his arms, her eyes searching his face, her lips curving into a soft, radiant smile that sent a thrill through his chest. Promise me something, she whispered, her fingers tracing the strong line of his jaw. Anything, he replied without hesitation, his hands tightening around her waist. Promise me you'll never hide from me again, she said, her voice trembling slightly, her dark eyes reflecting the golden light of the rising sun. Nnamdi's heart ached at the vulnerability in her tone, the fear that still lingered despite all they had been through. I promise, he said, his voice firm, his eyes never leaving hers. No more secrets, no more lies, just us. A tear slipped down Zahra's cheek, and he reached up, gently brushing it away with his thumb, his heart swelling with a love so fierce it left him breathless. Thank you, she whispered, her lips trembling as she leaned up to press a gentle, lingering kiss to his mouth. He closed his eyes, his heart soaring as he lost himself in her warmth, her taste, the soft sigh of her breath against his skin. When they finally pulled apart, their foreheads resting together, their breaths mingling in the cool morning air. Nnamdi felt a peace he hadn't known in years, a deep, soul-settling certainty that he had found his forever. "Come on," he whispered, pulling back slightly, his eyes sparkling with a mischievous glint. "Let's make some memories." Zahra arched a perfectly sculpted brow, her lips curving into a teasing smile. "Oh, and what exactly do you have in mind, Mr. Fashion Mogul?" He chuckled, slipping his hand into hers, their fingers intertwining as he led her back into the suite. "You see," he whispered, his heart racing with anticipation. As the morning sun climbed higher into the sky, casting their intertwined shadows across the polished wooden floor, Nnamdi knew, without a doubt, that their adventure was only just beginning.
I came from far just to breathe again. Tired of mask, tired of pretend. Lost in the crowd but searching for light. Then I found you in the heat of the night. You were hidden in plain sight, like the moon in the morning light. I was running, you were right there. Now I see you and I swear I won't let go, no more disguise. You're the truth in a world of lies. You were hidden, hidden in plain sight. Under city lights where secrets roam, we built a love far from home. From engine smoke to wedding vows, now your name, they sweet my mouth. You were hidden in plain sight, like the moon in the morning light. I was running, you were right there. Now I see you and I swear I won't let go, no more disguise. You're the truth in a world of lies. You were hidden, hidden in plain sight. I go fight for you, even if the world won't break into. Now you be the vow I choose. From Douala skies to the ocean blues. You were hidden in plain sight. Now your love be my guiding light. I go hold you, never tire. Set our hearts on sacred fire. I won't let go, no more disguise. You're the truth in a world of lies. You were hidden, hidden in plain sight. You and I under one sky, hidden no more. Ooh, hidden in plain sight. I came from far just to breathe again. Tired of masks, tired of pretend. Lost in the crowd, but searching for light. Then I found you in the heat of the night. You were hidden in plain sight, like the moon in the morning light. I was running, you were right there. Now I see you and I swear I won't let go, no more disguise. You're the truth in a world of lies. You were hidden, hidden in plain sight. Under city lights where secrets roam, we built a love far from home. From engine smoke to wedding vows, now your name, they sweet my mouth. You were hidden in plain sight. sight, like the moon in the morning light. I was running, you were right there. Now I see you and I swear I won't let go, no more disguise. You're the truth in a world of lies. You were hidden, hidden in plain sight. Omo, I go fight for you, even if the world won't break in two. Now you be the vow I choose, from Douala skies to the ocean blues. You were hidden in plain sight. Now your love be my guiding light. I go hold you, never tire. Set our hearts on sacred fire. I won't let go, no more disguise. You're the truth in a world of lies. You were hidden, hidden in plain sight. You and I, under one sky, hidden no more.
I come far away from my people. They won't choose bright for me, but my heart get different rhythm. I see you by the roadside. Your fire, no day hide. Something about your vibe make my heart they run high. No one go know if you no go show. Love where we get it, they glow slow mo. Keep 'em on low, like say we no sure. But baby, now you are the wait for. If they find out, he go scatter. But I go fight for your matter. Under the sun, rain go fall. Still now you are the call. Your smile be like cheat code. You the boss brain overload. From Douala to Lekki, my love they travel, no checkpoint. You they wear Ankara, no be disguise. You be the one where they bust my mind, even if I agree or lie. Now you be my do or die. No one go know if you no go show. Love where we get it, they glow slow mo. Keep 'em on low, like say we no sure. But baby, now you are the wait for. Shy for two, make we toast. Even if we hide, love go post. Now destiny bring you close. I go hold you tight like claws. No one go know if you no go show. Love where we get it, they glow slow mo. Keep 'em on low, like say we no sure. But baby, now you are the wait for.
I'm a piano love, don't bounce. No one go do if you don't go show. Now undercover I come on, far away from my people. They won't choose bright for me, but my heart get different rhythm. I see you by the roadside. Your fire, no they hide. Something about your vibe make my heart they run now. No one go know if you no go show. Love where we get it, they glow slow mo. Keep 'em on low, like say we no sure. But baby, now you are the wait for. If them find out, it go scatter. But I go fight for your matter. Under the sun, rain go fall. Still now you they call. Just might be like cheat code. You the boss brain overload. From Douala to Lekki, my love they travel, no checkpoint. You they wear Ankara, no be disguise. You be the one where they bust my mind. Even if I agree or lie, now you be my do or die. No one go know if you no go show. Love where we get it, they close slow mo. Keep 'em on low, like say we no sure. But baby, now you are the wait for. Shy up for two, make we toast. Even if we hide, love go post. Now destiny bring you close. I go hold you tight like clothes. No one go know if you no go show. Love where we get it, they close slow mo. Keep 'em on low, like say we no show. But baby, now you are the wait for. I'm a piano.